And for your reference, the webinar is being recorded. So hopefully everybody's okay with this. And good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to today's important webinar, Invisible Exposure, Exposures, How EDCs and Toxic Chemicals Impact Women Waste Workers, supported by the Public Worker Solidarity Foundation in Korea and the International Pollutants Elimination Network, IPAN, and co-hosted by Wonjin Institute for Occupational Health, Ecological Observation and Wetland Conservation's Hackathon, and Ariranga University Faculty of Medicine, and Ecological Alert and Recovery from Thailand, Earth. So across the sessions, we will explore critical topics, including the occupational chemical exposures, especially faced by women waste workers in Indonesia and Thailand, and the collaborative lessons we can apply to improve worker health globally. We are grateful to have a diverse panel of experts sharing their latest research and practical recommendations. Thank you all for joining us in this vital conversation toward a healthier, safer future for these essential workers and the communities they support. So this webinar will be in into 4 sessions. So firstly, I'm honored to introduce Dr. Won Kim, the Executive Director and from Wonjin Institute for Occupational Health and Occupational and Environmental Health, to present the findings from the Women Waste Workers Biomonitoring Project that Wonjin Institute delivered together with Hackathon in Indonesia. This important research reveals the extent of hazardous chemical exposures that female workers face daily, especially from plastics and related toxic substances. Through biomonitoring and analysis, the study highlights critical occupational health risks and calls for stronger protections and policies to safeguard these vulnerable workers. We look forward to sharing these insights and discussing how we can collectively advance chemical safety and workers' health. Dr. Kim, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the introduction, Lee. I will share my screen. Can you see my screen clearly? Okay. Thank you for introducing me and inviting me for this very good and important webinar. My name is Won Kim. I'm working at Wonjin Institute as the executive director. And today I will present the result from the Women Waste Workers Biomonitoring Project for hazardous chemicals derived from plastics. This project was supported from the Public Workers Solidarity Foundation in Korea. And I will share mainly the result and insight from this project. As you know, the volume of urban solid waste is on the rise, and the plastic waste account for many significant volume of it. And the waste workers, you know, the workplace is very full, so they has a great possibility to be exposed to very highly toxic chemicals from the waste and especially from the plastic waste, because the plastic contain about 16,000 of chemicals, and of them about 4,200 of chemicals could be classified as a very toxic chemicals, including the carcinogen, mutagen, reproductive toxicant, and even the POPs and the endocrine disrupting chemicals. But we don't have very scientific evidence to reveal the poor workplace environment. So we in this project we set up the two main objectives. First of all, the first one is to evaluate women waste pickers' occupational exposure to hazardous chemicals from plastics. And we are going to use this result to raise up awareness of the plastic problem and plastic waste problem and health problem from the exposure to the chemicals. For this project, we collaborate with the Ekoton in Indonesia and Ariranga University, and we all get together to develop the plan for this project. And Ekoton make a network with the local community and the uh, specialized staff from the Ariranga University collected samples, and we analyze the samples and evaluate the result. So for in this study, we recruited 27 women waste workers who are located in uh, Dinginanum, Peak and the Dinginanum temporary waste storage site in Gresik. They are all of them are living in the area, and their age was between 15 and 49. And we need the control group to compare the exposure status. So we recruited also the control population in Bowen Island in the Gresik with the same age, the women with the same age, and who have no career with waste management. Maybe the Baiwan Island is located about over 60 or even the 100 kilometers from the target area. So they are the uh, participants from control is nearly not related any things with the waste treatment and even the plastic treatment. The specialized staff from the Ariranga University collected the samples according to the standard operation procedure. So the participant agreed, the only participant who agreed to join this project were collected, recruited for this project, and the staff interviewed with the participant with the pre-prepared questionnaire, and the blood samples and urine samples from the participants collected, and the samples are delivered to the Wonjin Institute. We analyzed the phthalates in bottom panels, including BPA, BPS, BP1, BP3, or parabens, and heavy metals such as the cadmium, lead, chrome, or nickel, and organophosphorus, flame retardants, and even the PAH in the urine. And we analyzed the same kinds of heavy metals in blood and and polyfluoroalkyl substance, in short, PFAS. This is a demographic information of the participant in case and in control. The main age of the participant in the case was about 48, and the control group was 35. And generally, they were very good healthy status, and almost all participants did not smoke. And unlike me, they don't like consuming alcohol, and the unexpectedly the number of incineration was very low compared to the expectations. But anyway, they wear masks, gloves, and boots when they were doing their job. And this slide shows the detection and frequency of the chemicals we analyze in their urine and the blood. Let's see the detection rate of phthalates. The DEP, you know well about the nickname of the phthalates, everywhere phthalates, everywhere chemicals. So almost all the type of the phthalates were detected from all the urines from the participants. For example, the DEP, DMP, and the DEHP was detected all the urine samples. And the BPA, BP13, was the paraben types of environmental panel was detected all the population. And the DPHP or DBUP types of organophosphorus flame retardant were detected with very high range. And the PFAS also was detected in many blood samples. One of the legendary PFAS type is P4, PFOA, PFOA, and the PFOS, PFOS. The detection rate was almost 100 for the uh, uh, for the participant. And this table showed the results about the heavy metals. The cadmium lead, cadmium chrome nickel level in blood and urine was comparable to data from the Korea and the USA. The KUNESH means the national level biomonitoring project in Korea, and Haynes is the another national level biomonitoring project in USA. They represent the general exposure status of the general population in each country. So we can compare the result with Cornish and Enhance from the US. Unlike other types of heavy metals, the red level in blood was very high compared to the Korea and the USA. In the Indonesian, the level in case and the level in control was very similar. It means that they have a similar exposure sources, and so the exposure level is very similar. But the exposure level is very high compared to Korea and the USA. So in Indonesia, there is something different exposure sources compared to another country. I don't know the what is the main exposure source for the red in the Indonesia. Generally, the main exposure sources for red is the red paint, as you know already well know about this, and redded gasoline is another sources for the lead, and consumption of the contaminated food is one of the sources for red. But I don't know which is the main sources in this population. But anyway, the red level in the Indonesian blood is very high compared to other countries. And this is about the phthalates. Uh, in in the there is a two findings in the phthalate results. One of them is the DEP exposure level in Indonesian population is significantly higher compared to Korea and USA. In Korea, the DEP exposure level is 5.6, and in America, the exposure level was 35. But in the case, the exposure level was 390, and even in the control, the exposure level was almost 800. So this is in the perspective of the uh, general public health. There is something exposure sources in the personal care products or cosmetics or the consumer products. Maybe the MDEP is used as a solvent in such a product. So maybe the Indonesian population use more personal care products or cosmetics which contain the DEP as a solvent. So this is the public health problem in Indonesia. And in the occupational settings, in the perspective of occupational settings, you can compare the DEHP exposure level compared to other population. The DEHP exposure level in the Indonesian population is significantly higher compared to the Korea and USA again. But the exposure level in case is statistically significantly higher compared to the control. It means there is the DHP is generally exposed through the intake of the food. But in this table, in this visual, we can assume that there is an additional exposure among the waste workers because of the poor workplaces, and especially for the maybe from the plastic waste. And we this table summarized the previous studies where the measured workers exposure to DHP in the workplaces. For example, in some study, they evaluate the workers who deal with the phthalates in the manufacturing process, or they measure the workers DHP exposure who handle the phthalate to make love hoses, love PVC compound in their workplaces. Their exposure level was about from 25 to 150 microgram per gram creatinine. So uh, the in this study, the waste workers DHP exposure level was 75. So it means that they are occupationally the waste workers in Indonesia are occupationally exposed to the DHP, and its exposure level is compared to the other studies result where the workers were working at the phthalates itself and handling the products which contain the phthalates. And this is about the environmental panels. The the BPA exposure level in case was about 2.5 higher compared to the controls, but but it is not significant, statistically significant. But in case for the PP1 or the PP3, which is used as the stabilizers in plastics, the exposure level in case was significantly higher compared to that from the control. And this is something the different pattern. The parabens used as the preservative in the products. Uh, but in this case, the methyl paraben or propylparaben is very high compared to the other the population in Korea and the USA. But the level in case was significantly higher compared to the control level. But we have to consider because the parabens as a preservative in products, used as a preservative in products, maybe they are released from the waste. So this could be more exposed to the case is the reason why their exposure level is higher compared to the control. And this is about the organophosphorus flame retardants. The DPHP and DBUP types of flame retardant were detected, and the level in the case was significantly higher compared to the control. This flame retardant is used as a flame retardant and replaced by the brominated flame retardant because the brominated flame retardant is very toxic, well on it is in pubs. So they are displaced with these types of flame retardant. But even in this case, the organophosphorus flame retardant exposure level, which is used as a flame retardant in the plastic, is even higher compared to the control population. So this may be originated from the workplaces, I think. And this is about the PAH, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon. Of them, the pyrene exposure level was significant compared to the control. And maybe the Tikikon may explain more detailed information about the exposure status. In their IPAN studies, the penanthrin, fluorine, or pyrene were detected in the rings worn by the recyclers and waste workers. Uh, the the measured exposure, well, measured concentration was very higher compared to the that from the control. So this result to show the similar pattern or similar result compared to our studies. In our studies, the Python uh, exposure was significantly higher in the waste workers. The only thing that we cannot explain is about the PFAS. We can see in this table the exposure level of all types of papers we analyzed in this project was very low compared to the Korean population or USA population. For example, you can see the PFOA, one of the legendary type of PFAS. The exposure level of U is zero point 0.4 microgram per liter, but in Korea, the exposure level is 6.5. And even in the USA, the exposure concentration is 1.3. So this is our problem. So not your problem. So let's skip these findings from the papers. So this is the final conclusions. We recruited the waste workers and we measured the exposure of the hazardous chemicals, which is originated from the plastic waste, and we compared the exposure level with the control. And uh, some types of exposure level was generally high compared to the other countries, but some types of chemicals, which is used as some additives in plastics, was very high, very higher compared to the control. One of them was the DHP, which was used as a stabilizer in plastics, and the OPFL, which is used as a flame retardant exposure level in waste workers, was very higher compared to the control population. And maybe the pyridine, one of the main type of the PAH, was originated from the burning of the waste. The exposure level in the waste workers was even higher. And some types of UV stabilizer, the UV3 or UV1, the exposure level was higher in the waste workers. So despite the the sample size is very small because of the budget was small. We cannot expand the sample size. Anyway, the result from this study was based on the scientific findings and confirmed the internal exposure of female waste workers to hazardous chemicals in Indonesia. So these findings could be used as evidence to support the policies to protect the waste workers and public health, and even within local community. So this is what I prepared today, and thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kim, for sharing the result of the groundbreaking research. If you have any questions or any inquiries, please write in the Q&A or in the chat box that we can cover later at the end of the webinar. Or you can, if you have someone, especially from the presenters, especially want to explain your question, then please let us know that too. Okay, it is very unfortunate that the result indicates that female waste workers in Indonesia are more exposed to major hazardous chemicals originated from plastics. But this should pose a significant importance. Now I'm again very honored to introduce Dr. Lestari Sudaryanti, Dr. M. Katz, researcher and lecturer, Faculty of Medicine from Ariranga University. In this session, Dr. Lestari will explore the critical issues of plastic exposure and its impact on women's health in Indonesia. And she will discuss how common plastic-related chemicals contribute to health problems among female waste workers and highlight the advanced occupational safety practices developed in Korea. So Dr. Lestari, please, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you, Leon. May I share my PPT, my presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you see my presentation?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Greeting of health and well-being. Thank you for the time and opportunity to given to me. I will present it, the result from project collaboration, our project collaboration with title Phthalate Exposure, Estrogen Dysregulation and its implication for insulin and leptin function in relation to weight gain among female with sorting workers. Like we know, for all the sources of microplastic from the environment into our body, we can see from this picture, we can get from any sources which that's coming to my body with many pathway from environment to our body. This diagram show many organs which influence that microplastic from before, from the research before. We showed that hair, saliva, sputum, bronchoalveolar, lung, liver, breast milk, placenta, infant, feces, spleen, kidney, colon, also the blood. The main project, our collaboration. All of them, we can find microplastic there. This is from many sources, from extraction and transport, people can get the microplastic with inhalation, and from refining manufacture, from consumer use and waste management, have a pathway when they come into our body. So this is giving many manifestation for my health. For the background, for the research, we know that female was sorting workers are directly exposed to plastic waste on a daily basis. And we know that plastic contain phthalate, which act as endocrine disrupting chemicals. We also call EDCs. And EDCs can interfere with the reproductive hormonal system and the body's metabolic process. And also the hormonal disruption contributes to the development of obesity and metabolic syndrome. I'm so sorry because maybe I can presented the analytic statistic, because we can find the significant relationship, because maybe because we have limited data, but from descriptive data we can find that from our respondent, you can find body mass index, blood pressure, and random blood glucose level. You can see that on PME, dominantly we have a respondent with obesity and overweight. On blood pressure, we can find that hypertension we found on 37% of our respondent, and blood glucose random we just find about 8% on diabetic. But it's female were sorted come from low income communities, but with the data predominantly have a BMI that are obese and overweight. So this raises the idea that something is missed from the data. It's very interesting for us on medical services to analyze why we have more obesity from this respondent. From scientific evidence, we can find polluting chemical substance which may potentially be obesogens in humans. It's about DES, genistein, bisophenol A, organotiens, or TPT, and phthalate. It's research by Ricardo V et al. On 2012. So obesogens are ATCs that can alter lipid homeostasis, promote adipogenesis, and disrupt metabolic regulation, leading to increased adiposity and obesity risk. Environment pollutants, which term obesogens, consistent association between phthalate exposure and obesity in children, with mixed result for adult. Research by Marta Jaskolak at 2025. And the other research mentioned that exposure to phthalate has been shown to induce abnormal epigenetic changes in non-coding RNA expression, DNA methylation, and histone modification. This research by Ankita Singh et al. Are on 2025. This is a picture which explain how the main mechanism behind endocrine disrupting chemicals as obesogens. We can find it's we looked at adipogenesis, gut microbiome, pro-inflammatory factor, and oxidative stress, neurosignaling, epigenetic regulation, and on adipose tissue, we have this function in thermogenic adiposity. So it's very clear that phthalate has a significant related with case of obesity. The other research, we can find that phthalate an epigenetic and emerging public health concern by Ankita Singh. We can find many disease that relate with any organ which exposure to phthalate. You can find kidney. This is we find chronic kidney disease, vascular endothelial injury. From obesity, we can find adipose dysfunction, increased body fat mass, and the others. Maybe this picture can explain how the mechanism very clear for us, which the keyword for this analysis is process epigenetic change caused by phthalate on our body in many organs is by pathway DNA methylation, histone modification, and miRNA. When is the disease or health condition associated with this epigenetic change? Obesity, diabetic, cancer, proliferation, respiratory disease, and the others. Other many science evidence say that a significant association has been observed between urinary phthalate metabolite levels and increased body mass index. Also, positive correlation have been identified with insulin resistant, altered expression of estrogen receptor has also been documented. Phthalate as endocrine disrupting chemical exert estrogen-like activity by mimicking endogenous estrogen. So they act estrogen in our body and interfere with inhibit estrogen receptor signaling, disrupt the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal HPG axis, modulate and dysregulate the hormonal regulation of the female reproduction system. So we can find that there are any mechanism can happen with the exposure to phthalate, estrogen dysregulation. In example, impaired estrogen receptor activity, hormonal imbalance between estrogen and progesterone, and have implication disruption of menstrual cycle regularity, also increase adipose tissue deposition and dysregulation of energy metabolism. Estrogen and metabolism of glucose. Estrogen plays a critical role in regulation of insulin sensitivity. Estrogen also control of lipid metabolism, distribution of adipose tissue, and estrogen dysregulation leads to a reduction in insulin sensitivity. So effect of phthalate exposure on insulin directly, if phthalate exposure leads to insulin resistant chronic hyperglycemia, increased conversion of glucose into adipose tissue with consequences accumulation of visceral fat, increased risk of type 2 diabetes mellitus type 2. Also on leptin, which role of leptin? Leptin is a hormone secreted by adipose tissue, plays a central role in the regulation of appetite and energy and homeostasis. Also modulates satiety signaling pathway in the thalamus. So exposure to phthalate interfere with leptin signaling mechanism, resulting in impaired hypothalamic responsiveness to satiety signal, and this leads to enhanced appetite stimulation, decreased lipid oxidation, so also progressive increase in body weight. So from that's explanation, we can summary that mechanism of weight gain on my respondent include for the phthalate exposure. We can see that phthalate directly influence the insulin and leptin resistance, and after that increase lipogenesis and make fat accumulation, and the end of this process we can find weight gain. But on my respondent, because they are women, estrogen dysregulation also have a mempunyai peran gitu ya, have contribute to weight gain like we found on my respondent. Mechanism of action phthalate to increase the body weight can with pathway hormonal disruption, adipogenesis and lipid metabolism, insulin resistance, also the leptin signaling interference, and epigenetic modification, which exposure to phthalate, especially during critical development period on prenatal and early life, can cause epigenetic change that alter how genes related to metabolism and adipogenesis are expressed, increasing the long-term susceptibility to obesity in current and even future generation. This explanation is very related with our second research on microplastic in amniotic fluid that I have a project with Ecoton collaboration. So the summary, epidemiological studies show mixed but generally positive association between the phthalate metabolite and higher body mass index in children and adults. The impact can be gender specific and depend on the timing and dose of exposure, because plastic must be accumulated in our body to be expressed in many diseases. Overall, the weight of evidence suggests that phthalates contribute to the global obesity epidemic alongside traditional factors like diet and physical activity. Value evaluation from this collaborative research project, we can find the health of female workers must be improved because the impact is more seriously. And Indonesia can learn from Korea regarding occupational health management system, because in Korea you have many system to improve with advance for health workers. But research must continue to be developed to find the best solution to eliminate plastic in the human body and from our environment. I think many faculty on Erlangga have a prestigious research about this. One of them from Fakultas Teknologi multimedia, Mandiri and Multimedia gitu ya. So I'm sorry, I don't clearly have it. We are very interested in Wonjin research on effort to eliminate plastic from our human body. So it's very I'm very proudly to be joined with you are all on this project, and thank you for everything. Thank you for speechless. It's it's very for me it's very thank you thank you for you all. These literatures, I'm sorry because we can give more presentation of significant analytic from statistics because we have limited data. So if you are not we need your raw data to analytic on statistic anymore. Thank you. I'm sorry. Good afternoon for all.
Thank you, Dr. Lesteri. Thank you for sharing the latest scientific evidence of the adverse health impacts of the major plastic originated chemicals, especially on female physiology. Yes. And I should refrain from gaining more weight, but I'm not sure really. And hopefully, I really hope that we can keep our collaboration again in yes. the future yes. and soon in the future. And now let us move to the third session. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Daru Setironini, Executive Director of Ecological Observation at Wetland Conservation Psychoton, and who also were our partner in the study of our project. So she will present on occupational health risk faced by women waste pickers in Indonesia that she had been working on for the long years. This work highlights their daily exposures to hazardous chemicals from plastics and waste and the urgent need for protective measures and systemic change. So I hope this presentation will deepen your understanding and inspire meaningful actions to support these vulnerable workers. Dr. Daru, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Puyon, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Kim and Ibu Lestari. I'm so happy to be here. So I will start my presentation about the toxic exposure for women waste worker at Indonesian Waste Management Facility. Like you see in the picture that most of Indonesian landfill are still managed as open dumping, and that can have high risk of massive burning or wildfires. So recently, several landfill in Indonesia, such as in Bali, have a big fire, and it also can be the pathway for the exposure for the toxic plastic chemicals. And not only at the landfill site, in the local waste management facility, there are also some illegal dump site. They also continuously or regularly burning the trash as the simple method to get rid with the piles. And the women workers become more sensitive to the impact of the exposure, because usually they work near their house, so they every day have really close interaction with this exposure. So if we see the women waste worker in Indonesia, they face combination of hazard from the waste, from the physical, chemical, biological, ergonomic, and psychosocial. And usually they work as informal worker. That makes them have lack of safety regulation or guarantee, protective equipment, and lack of access to healthcare. And related with the plastic, there are increasing concern about the specific risk from the toxic chemical exposure. And because they also work with mixed waste, in Indonesia, we don't have waste segregation policy yet. So the impact will be more hard for the waste worker because they have to work with a cocktail of dangerous substance. And not only in government manage waste management, there are also many waste picker working in the landfill, and the waste picker contribute to the collecting recyclables 15 to 20% from the municipal solid waste. And their working condition is very, very challenging. They have very low income, about $2 to $5 per day. It's really far below minimum wage. But the working hours is like they work 6 to 7 days a week, and mostly without protective equipment. And there are already some research such as the lead in the blood is 3 times higher than average, and also the chronic respiratory problem and skin diseases. In the news, we can see some case of the accident occur by the waste worker. There's one case that waste worker died because of tetanus after he stepped on the satay stick. And it become a big case that it should make people more aware that it's important to separate the hazardous waste from the others. And the intensify factors that increase the risk is there are so many uncontrolled dump site and informal waste picker or waste worker. They don't have enough knowledge about the hazard of the waste they handled, and most of them do manual sorting without protective equipment, and it's done manually with bare hands and with their daily clothes. So yeah, they do the sorting like in their home area. So yeah, it's very intense relation of intense contact that has to yeah deal with them, and the prevalence of open burning. So specific risk from the toxic chemicals in plastic, we have learned that plastic contain EDCs, especially phthalate with bisphenol A and heavy metals. And the other source of toxic chemical in the waste are used batteries that contain heavy metals, electronic waste, hazardous chemical waste like paint, pesticide, and other cleaning agent. And sometimes we also found medical waste in the city landfill or just illegal dump like near the riverbank or some illegal area. So yeah, because lack of government control, it still happens quite frequently. And the exposure to the waste worker, female waste worker, from the three pathway. First from the dermal or skin contact, because they don't consistently use the gloves, and the glove is really not safe because it's from the cloth and like cotton, and it's not waterproof, and it's very short, so it's only cover the palm, while the other hand part also can expose to the dermal can expose to the toxic during their work time. And inhalation, because of the burning, can also happen, like in one of the MRF or TPS3 added become the sample area in Gresik. They still consistently burning some residual waste, because the transportation rate provided by government, they think it's not enough, so they don't want to have big piles of trash, so they just burn it to reduce the volume. And the third is through ingestion, because their hand not protected. So when they have break, they usually consume or drink or eat without proper hand washing, and sometimes they also can incidentally touch their mouth or their other body that can cause ingestion of these small particles, microplastic or liquids. And the condition that also intensify the risk is lack of sanitation facilities. So we need a better sanitation facility for the workers before and after they work. That should have be clean the body appropriately, and the government should provide that facility. And proximity to contaminated areas. So because they work in the landfill, they also exposed to the further pollution from the leachate, from the air pollution, also microplastic dispersed in the air, in the soil, and other material. And the last is long working hours. Yeah, from this research, one of our main concern is about the DEHP concentration, as already discussed by Dr. Won Kim and Dr. Lestari. So in our samples, the target have very high DEHP concentration that even 2 times higher than the Chinese PVC recycler biomonitoring result. And quite surprising that the control sample also have higher DHP concentration. And I learned that DHP is added to many polymers, especially PVC and polyurethane. And this polymer is used in very wide range of product. In Indonesia, we have a lot of PVC products, such as the food containers, flexible tablecloth from PVC, also the house decoration materials. People nowadays like to put that kind of stuff in the house, yeah. And also probably in the cosmetics, so we really need to do further identification where this PVC or this DEHP come from. And maybe for the follow-up research, we can also identify DHP in some product that regularly consumed by the people in Bawean, to know why their DHP in blood is so high, and also in the ways to identify what product we should limit the production to avoid the further for the toxic pollution. And in Europe, actually, the HP already banned because of the toxic impact on health. So after with this finding, I hope we can also use this result to advocate for stronger global regulation and also national regulation in Indonesia to also limit or phase out the DHP in product. So the recommendation to improve the condition for the waste worker, first we need to formalize and recognize the waste picker as the environmental service provider. So the government should provide them access for facility, social program, and also health insurance and stable income. And it's already happened in some landfill area, like in Gresik City landfill. They already try to formalize the waste picker, and all waste pickers should have permit to enter the landfill, and they being monitored. Sometimes the local EPA also provide health inspection for the waste pickers, but yeah, that need to be more formalized in the regulation. And the step two, we need to improve the safety by providing more proper equipment. The picture on the right show this is the waste facility at the systemic project in Banyuwangi. So they provide better protection for the women waste worker. They provide a helmet, waterproof glove, boots, and also uniforms, basic sanitation, clean water toilets. Yeah, we need all waste management facility should have their minimum standard for equipment safety that can protect the waste worker from the high exposure of this toxic. And government also can provide nutritious food for the waste workers regularly, yeah, to probably reduce the or to send out the toxic in the body. So we need to provide regularly nutritious food for them. And the most important thing also, we need to push more strong advocacy for government to stop physical burning in the household area, in the small landfill, no, in the small waste management facility, and of course in the landfill area, and prevent the risk of wildfire at the landfill. And yeah, at the operation of the waste management in the landfill or waste management facility, we need government need to make a proper standard operation procedure and design of the equipment so that the waste worker have easier process, yeah, to sorting and to do the treatment of the waste with lower risk. And the step 4, we also need to have an education program for all stakeholders, the government, to the industry, the community, and also waste worker and the family, because this is the problem for everyone. So when there is a waste management facility near our resident area, we can also impacted by the operation. So everyone should be aware about the hazard of waste burning and toxic waste open dumping for to the environment. And we need to provide training for the healthcare facility, probably, yeah, to identify the impact of the toxic plastic chemicals to the health of the waste worker. Yeah, I think that's I can share for now, and I will be happy to have more discussion with all of you. Back to Puyon.
Excuse me. Thank you, Dr. Daru, for the crucial presentation describing the working environment and the working conditions of waste workers, and the possible recommendations for government as well as other stakeholders. I really wish this study can contribute to the improvement of the waste workers' working conditions. I recognize the questions from Ru Haida and from Sipang. So we'll get back to those at the end of the webinar. So please stay put. And now we are moving to Thailand while keeping the same topic. So welcome to the final session of today's webinar. The presentation is by Titi Korn, also known as P, who is working as a program manager, Ecological Alert and Recovery Thailand with Earth, will focus on the chemical exposures faced by plastic waste and recycling workers in Thailand and recommendations aimed at reducing toxic exposures and ensuring safer working environments for all plastic waste workers. So I'd like to hand over the mic to P.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Here is my slide. It's done. It work. Okay. I just list that. So ready. Just set my computer. Going to be okay. Okay. Okay, I can share my words. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tigon, or you can call me P, from Perth, Thailand. Today I present some of the study with IPEN and Anika. We have projects on the plastic pollution, the workplace, the chemical exposure to plastic waste and recycling workers. This project is we study on the start of this year, around not of the last year, sorry, the 2024. And next, okay, the first is the full of the study, the full report of this study. In the left hand is the final report from the study of the Thailand, and the right hand is the whole of the projects on this project. Compare the study from Thailand and Kenya, and some part of the study we collect some the data from the UN delegates. Yes. For the first, I want to introduce the study, the project, why we are studying on the chemical in plastics. Because the first reason, because the plastic production of the plastic polymer in 1950 and 2019 is very continually increased more than 100%. It's like you can see on the graph, it's like a parabola graph. Yes. And this is the data from the 2023. We found the chemicals. For now, Dr. Wang Kim mentioned this 16,000 chemicals. Yes. It's likely just 1% of all chemicals used in plastic that are regulated under the international environmental agreement. And why why study in Thailand? Because Thailand is ranked among the top of the supporters, plays third or globally in providing subsidies to polymer produce over 55 billion baht in 2020. And the overview of the plastic workplace in Thailand is all of the picture are earth taken all of the photo in the real workplace. Uh, the workplace of the e-waste management, the municipal waste, you can see all the many plastic, several type of plastic in the workplace. And for the chemicals group in the study, we study all the 6 groups of the chemical: phthalate plasticizer, alternative, the PAH or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, the BUVS or BUV or benzoyl triazole UV stabilizers, and phenols and biphenyls. And the last group is organophosphate flame retardants, or the short name is OPFIs. All of this is like some chemicals of the plastic, some chemical in plastic, or some or the chemical in, like an alternative chemical to the plastic, to more, yes, more particle sizes. Yes, and the method of this study, we collect the sample from the 30 volunteers participants and separate in 3 groups. The first group is control group with the 10 volunteers. Separate women, 6 women, and 4 men. And second group is project based recycle with the 10 volunteers and with 7 women and 3 men. And the last group is the plastic waste handle with 3 volunteers with 6 women and 4 men. And all of the all the participants, we detect with the device by the silicone wristband. In this picture, you can see the wristband and the black one in the aluminum cans is a wristband. We call the wristband because it is like the solid silicone, and this can absorb the chemicals or some substance in the environment, allow the human that they wear this, and all of the volunteer wear the wristband continually for 5 days, continually 5 days. Yes, and this wristband is like passive samples to collect the chemicals, and like accurate chemical efforts show information from the workplace and daily life. And the last method, we use the the questionnaire and the daily log to collect the data from individual volunteer. And you can see the 3 group of the volunteer mostly are female. Yes. And next, how difference of the groups. The first control group, the volunteer of the control group, they are from the Child Development Center officers, like a teacher in the Child Development of centers. They don't work or contact or expose to the plastic waste, but only some like plastic daily life in their daily life, maybe contact with the plastic, like a plastic bag or plastic box or some others in the kitchen, in the living room. And the second group, the plastic waste handler, we collect, we have a volunteer from the municipal waste sorting plants and dump sites or landfill. And the third group, we collect from the plastic waste recycle refer from the e-waste replanting and sorting shop and plastic shredding workers. And the results is really surprise and shock. As because from the sixth group of the chemicals, we found the seven chemicals from this. It's very high number of the chemical species. The chemical, the 72 chemicals from the six chemical groups, separated by the palette, is alpha 12 chemicals, palette participants is two chemicals, and the PAH, we found 24 of the chemicals, and the BUV we found 8 chemicals, and phenol and bisphenol we found 6 of the chemical, and the last group is all for PFRs. We found 21 of the chemicals. And the number of the chemical from the wristband analyzed in 3 volunteer groups. You can see we use the graph to this graph to compare between groups. The first group is control group, plastic recycler, and the plastic waste handler. It's quite not different. It's like the same or near of the numbers. And yes, and next we compare the parallel between the current study and the previous study. The HPP, DEP, and DBP. From this study is the number, the color is like orange one, and the previous study from the other study in the gray one. The orange, you can see the level of the DHP in the plastic waste recycler and plastic waste handler is quite high than the previous study, like in USA, in UK, but lower than in the China and India. But in DBT, we found the level of the DBP in the control groups is higher for our study, and it's quite high in the previous study. It's very short for us. And the result of the PAH, the number, the left of the left graph is the number of the PAH that we detect, and the right hand graph is the sum concentration of the PAH that we analyze. You can see the number of the PAH is not different significantly among the participants. But however, the highest concentration will found in the plastic waste handling, and followed by the control group with the lowest level observed in plastic waste recycle. It's look the same level in the three group. Yes. And for the concentration of the PAH in the wristband sample that we analyzed, and we have found the phenanthrene, fluoranthrene, and pyrene in the all of the three groups. We found quite high, and although the concentration of this is not different significant among the volunteer groups, it's the finding indicate that all groups were exposed to the three compounds. It's say that all the group can expose to the PAH, like phenanthrene, fluorantine, and pyrene in the same level, or everyone can export or can contact to this. And for the OPFRs in this sample study, we found a high concentration in the number of the OPFR were in the plastic recycling. And then compare the plastic recycling worker to the plastic waste worker and the control group. The plastic recycling worker is the high concentration, although this level were lower than the combined concentration of the 25 OPFRs detected in wristband. Yes, but it's the result of the DEP and bisphenol or BPA in the wristband. The concentration of the DEP and BPA were high in plastic waste handlers and were found at similar level in control group. Or is you can say that the control groups and the plastic waste handler is quite the same level or same concentration of the DEP. Yes. For the conclusion of this study, let's say that all of the participants was exposed to the multiple hazardous chemicals commonly found in plastic, many of which are confirmed or suspected to be disease. It's like not all participants in this study and maybe all people like me and you can expose to the multiple hazardous chemicals in the plastic or in other daily life. And the highest concentration detected in the wristband were of the target like DEHP, DIBP, and DPB that are strictly regulated in the European Union due to their own risk to human health. And the number of chemical detected in each wristband raise concern of the combined effects, since mixture effect can be higher than the effect from each individual chemicals. And it is therefore very likely that participants in this study, as well as everyone else, are exposed to the high number. Yes. But in this study did not include all we didn't study the other chemicals of the concern in this study, such as the pesticides, paraben, brominated flame retardants, or BFR, and the others. Just study only in the 6 chemical groups. Yes, and for the last part of my presentation is like a recommendation to stakeholder, like workers, the government office, or some the others who make the strategy or the laws, like something like this. For the first, directly binding global control on plastic chemical throughout their life cycle and replacing the toxic plastic chemicals with a similar chemical or the safety chemical, or just like a chemical that have some other study or the confirm from the specialist confirm that is safe to human health. And recycling of plastic containing or generating toxic chemical must be prohibited. And the producers, this for the producers. Producer must be required to disclose and publicly the chemicals in their plastic and plastic products throughout the full product life cycle. And for the workers or employers must fulfill their obligation to protect their worker from harm from plastic chemicals, the prioritizing elimination, and where this not where this is not possible, substitute substitution of toxic plastic chemicals as established in the occupational safety and health of the country. And this for the production, the overproduction of the plastic led to higher exposure to toxic plastic chemicals. Therefore, plastic production and use must be reduced. It's like reduce the plastic and reduce the chemical in plastic, or just don't produce the oversupply plastic. And next is for everyone. Everyone has the right to a clean, safe, and sustainable environment, including the safe and healthy working environment. And the last is the low and middle income countries are the most affected, even though they are mostly not major plastic producers. Meanwhile, wealthy and developed countries cannot protect their people from the toxic chemical in plastic alone. It means that low and middle income like Thailand, Indonesia, or all the other country in the low and middle income is the most affected from the plastic of the plastic chemicals and the toxic in plastic, because like we are the like a landfill from the developed country to our country. Yes, it's really a problem in my countries. Yes, it's all of my presentation. Thank you very much. Back to Boyan.
Thank you, P.
Yes.
I totally agree that overproduction and the overproduction of the plastics and is the origin of all these issues and problems and affects a lot to the human health. No matter it's a woman or man. So thank you again. And I actually have to confess that this study with Earth and IPAN has pretty much inspired our biomonitoring research. With a while, we have the same topic in mind for a long time. So both research intuitively shows exposure poses serious health risks, including EDC, endocrine disruption, and highlight the urgent need for stronger workplace protections and global plastic chemical regulation. So we have to work for global plastics treaty more stronger. So thank you all the presenters, and I have received 4 questions, and I will start from Ruhida. I'm not sure if I have pronounced the name correctly. And I have 3 more questions, and one is already answered, but I will start from reading Ruhida's question. So very interesting presentation after Dr. Kim's presentation, and would like to know what is the main exposure pathway of these hazardous substances? Is it through skin, inhalation, or food intake? So I think everyone from the presenters could answer. So yes, Dr. Kim.
May I answer first? In Dado's presentation, Dado already answered about the questions. There are 3 exposure valves in the inhalation and the consumption of food and skin content. Generally, the DEHP, and most of the contaminants are exposed by ingestion of food. That means the food is already contaminated with very many kinds of the pollutants. But in the working in the occupational settings, the exposure pattern is some different from the living environment, because the as the Tikikon result, IPAN's study results show that the the contaminant in the air attached to the wristband worn by the plastic recyclers. So the toxic chemicals in the waste or the plastic waste released, and it can be attached to the dust and buoyant in the air. So the inhalation exposure could be possible. And the skin absorption is another way of exposure, but I think the skin absorption portion is very low compared to the inhalation. And third exposure route is the uh, uh, ingestion. Maybe the hygiene practice in the workplace is very important to protect the workers. The air and the surface and the hand could be contaminated with the pollutant. When the workers eat some food at the workplace, and in some cases, some workers can smoke at the workplaces and drinking some water, that can be another route for the exposure. So in summary, everybody in the world could be exposed to the toxic chemicals from the waste, and especially from the products waste. But in occupational settings, there are another additional exposure sources that is originated from the poor work environment. So this is my answer for the first question.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. And there was a second question from Sipang. Hi, Sipang. So she asked, do any of the scientists have any theories on why the result for heavy metals and phthalates were high even in the control site in Indonesia, which is about 100 kilometers away from the case site? So this is already answered by Daru, but Daru, could you come back to us and answer again for everybody's sake?
Okay, yeah. Bawean is, even though it's far from the main island, Gresik city, the population is quite dense, yeah. And because the economic prosperity is also higher than the Gresik common Gresik area, so the consumption also not much different. And we see the women also use a lot of makeup, skincare, something like that. That can be also the pathway for the maybe skin through the skin, yeah, absorption. And the waste burning is still become the common way they know to deal with the waste. So yeah, even though it's far from the main island, the lifestyle, the consumption is quite similar. And they also impacted by the probably the trash we found when we swim. It's not only from that island, but probably also coming from the ocean. So yeah, can be in from the island, also from the external island source.
Thank you, Dr. Daru, which is not a very comfortable situation that we have, but hopefully that answered Sipang. And I have another question from Ika so I'll read through. Such an interesting to talk about this exposure and bad effects to our body. Thank you all for the thank you for all the presenters for the amazing presentation. Thank you. I want to ask about South Korea or Thailand maintain the position poison exposure. Is there any regulation or specific mechanism that applied in there that maybe can adapt it by Indonesia? So she might be from Indonesia and wants to know, is there any better regulation from Korea or from Thailand? So the question is to Dr. Kim and P. So who would like to answer first?
Oh, yes. Okay, I first. Uh, did you hear me clearly? Because I'm in the outside of the building. So sorry if some voice noisy. Um, in Thailand, we not much the laws or some regulation for control the worker exposed to the hazardous chemicals or something like that. But we mostly like teach or ask them, ask the worker, ask the other stakeholder to uh, about the hazard of the chemicals or like the effect of the chemical or the toxic chemical from the waste, and mostly ask them to wear the individual protection, like a glove, wear the long sleeve, the long shirt, wear the mask, like hold on the hair, yes, and something like that to protect the workers or the employees from the hazardous chemicals. And for the regulation or the laws or the acts, for now we like Thailand NGO in Thailand, we have some the draft laws to and social movements and the like a campaign to ask to the government to make some laws or some act to protect the employees and to protect the worker and to control the hazardous chemicals. Yes, it's something like that from that I know. Yes.
Thank you, P, for introducing what Thailand is doing right now. And Dr. Kim, are you ready to answer, or would you like to answer now?
In short, there are some regulation to control the hazardous chemicals in hazardous chemicals. Some, for example, the material itself is regulated by the Ministry of Environment, and hazardous chemical use in the product is regulated by the some of the department. I can't remember the full English name. And the workplace's problem is managed by or controlled by Minister of Labor. So each government agency or government department have their one law to control hazardous chemical itself and chemical use in the products. But the regulation is not strong compared to our expectation or satisfaction. So we have uh, we have uh, we have laws to struggle against the government to make a stronger regulation to for the protection of general population and even the workers. So, and in my knowledge, in the workplaces, problem is controlled by the CDC in Indonesia, not the Minister of the Labor. So some weird regulation scheme. But anyway, there are some example of regulation to control the hazardous chemical in the many circumstances.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Kim. Thank you, Dr. Kim. If I may add, our regulation regarding the chemicals exposure in working environment is mostly applied to big plants, which is an official labors mostly. So that is a little more strictly regulated, but the other things like to the products are in different way. So that is the situation in Korea. But anyway, starting the regulation is a better way than not to have anything. I think he has something to add also.
Yes, I have something to ask more about from my part. Uh, for the other ways, our work, we just work with local government organization to provide or some the local regulation to control the hazardous chemical or to control or just like to save the worker, the labor from the pollution exposure. Yes, I like I work with a local government organization too. Yes, it really I think it's really grateful, really important part to work with and control the chemical. Yes,
I agree.
thank you.
And Dr. Lesteri also added a little more explanation as a medical doctor to Haida. So Dr. Lesteri, could you answer, could you deliberate your answer, please?
I'm sorry.
So you have answered a little more additional to Ruhaida's question. So could you get back to, could you explain a little more about the routes of the entry of the plastics?
Okay, thank you. When the plastic come into human bodies with air pollution route that impact on respiratory tract like asthma, like an emphysema, like bronchitis, that's on lower respiratory tract. Because the plastic was accumulated on alveoli, so it makes alveoli produce more than secrets, so it can have a symptom like sorry, sesak. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Suffocated.
Yeah, just like suffocated. It's so difficulty on breathing. So because many secret on respiratory tract. If a plastic come to human body through food and drink, so we can find the problem on GI tract, gastrointestinal tract, like cancer, colon cancer, colon, like diabetic type 2, just like I presented before, and many problem about that. So if the plastic through come into the human body through the skin, we can find some problem about the allergy, because it's promote the immune system, our immune system with inflammation and the other disease. we can find about that root. Maybe it's the answer.
All right. Thank you for the additional answer, Dr. Leskari. And we're almost for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I have one last question. But last but not least, from Pui, she wanted to thank you for the presentations. And she asked, is there a way to test beyond the wristband on the impact of the chemical presence on the health of the study participants? Perhaps a survey about what symptoms they face. I think this is the question to mostly.
Yes. Before we study on our projects, we just contact to the local government organization about our study, like to to talk to us, talk to them about the proposal of this study and explain how the risks for the worker to expose to the chemicals and the chemicals or toxic chemicals in the plastic. And they agree to help us to contact to the local workplace, to the local workers, to the local company, or to the local organized local organization to join us to and to join like a volunteer and collect chemical exposed by the wristband. Yes, they I think is that is the important part because we contact to the local government organization first, and they help us to conduct all of this. Yes.
I think that is actually more related to Pui's second question, that she wanted to know, how do the researchers convince recycling workers to participate in the study, especially if the findings portray their jobs negatively? So thank you for that. And could you also answer for Pui's first question, that if their chemical presence on the health of the study participants can be tested beyond the wristbands? I think this is beyond the research itself, so I'm not sure if P has the answer. But if you have any more like further studies to be planned, to please let us know.
Uh, I'm not sure. Like other tool or other thing that can uh test the exposed the chemicals they put out is out the placement. Um, but maybe the this my our projects we are choose the wristband because it's very easier to wear and to easier to collect, and that's it's very small and uh, safety for the volunteers, for the participant to wear this. But I'm not sure the other tools or the uh, other things to test the chemical present on the health and yes, but maybe I'm not sure. I heard that have some the tool like small things to tap with the human body, and that can collect the chemicals and analyze like a wristband, but it's very expensive. The wristband is very low price. It's very cheap. And yes,
Yeah, the wristband actually simulates the skin of the
yes,
people. So that
yes,
might be the restriction of this study to go further. But in Wenjin's research that we have collected blood and urine, and then when the public health centers, they also investigated the participants, the sampled people. Then, so the Ekoton and Ariranga University is having a plan to continue the study to find out if there is a more relations, any more relations with the other kind of diseases. So there is a possibility to a related and continuous study. So am I correct, Daru and Dr. Lestari? Okay, so hopefully we can get the research analysis data soon enough, and we can also have another round of the announcement and the webinar in the near future. Okay, hopefully this answered your question, Puyi. And now we are 10 minutes from 3 to Jakarta time. So thank you, everybody, for participating in today's important discussions. And I think we have to wrap up this important seminar. And we have gained valuable insights to the health risks faced by waste workers and the urgent need for stronger protection and policies. So let us take these learnings forward to support safer, healthier, and working environments and push for meaningful change in waste management practice globally. And please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or to continue the conversation after the session. So, and for the slides of the presentations, I'll have a chat with the presenters um, uh, and then share the deck afterwards. So, and we look forward to seeing you at our future webinars, and stay safe and take care. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.
thank you so much. Bye.
Okay.